staying grounded and focused in gratitude really helps with that calming effect and just staying present and winning today. Hey, it's Nikki, Llewellyn Gregory, and you're on Gut Plus Science. You're in for a fast-paced, storytelling, action item-rich leadership growth experience. I hope you make this podcast a habit. I consider it a leadership mentoring tool. Learning together makes us better together, and that is how we change the world around us. Let's get to it. Is anyone else kind of shock factor a little bit that we are here at the end of 2024? Gosh, this year has flown by. I feel like I say that every year, but it also gets more magnified each year. Am I alone? So here we are, the end of 2024. And man, I have had a awesome year and a messy year and a impactful, progress-oriented year and a halted year. So many things have been accomplished. A lot hasn't gone as planned. Definitely have had times of, am I going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? And I've had days that are just the best days ever. I have a dear friend that we often say it's going to be the best day ever. And there are some of those. And, that's life. We have the good and the awful and the beautiful and the messy and the fantastic. And that is life. And thank you for choosing to spend some of your minutes of life with me and our amazing guests on Gut Plus Science. Really appreciate the support. Cannot believe that we are going into year 7. 7. It's wow. Again, going back to, are we really already at the end of 2024? And I feel like I started my podcasting journey yesterday. And then on the flip side, I'm like, all that we've done since I started my podcasting effort, for all of those that have been along through the journey, whether you're a fellow podcaster, a team member, whatever, we've done so much. So it's all the feelings right now. And I wanted to spend some time, A, saying thank you, B, telling you I hope that you have a fantastic holiday break filled with downtime. I hope you have a couple moments of boredom. I hope you have fantastic, beautiful, amazing, best day evers, all the things. But I hope you can take some time to recharge. So I wanted to talk about some of my lessons that I jotted down as I was reflecting. I'm going to tell you the first one is progress over perfection. I try so hard not to be perfectionistic. Like it's something that actually triggers me, but I see myself falling into it sometimes. I have had this episode on my calendar for quite a few calendar shifts. That is a practice that I use is like always move something on your calendar that doesn't get done, even if you're moving it to the next time rather than you leave it in the dust and then you forget about it. You're like, oh, I had that on there, but then overlooked it. Just move it over. You can always get a next shot the next day. But this has moved so many times on my calendar. That's my point. And it was this like, what am I going to talk about? Getting kind of stressed about it. Also, just got a lot going on. And it's like, let's just get moving here, which is exactly what we tell those that we coach in podcasting. This is not a keynote. This is not a speaker reel. This is a vulnerable, authentic human channel for you to be able to share yourself. So I'm embracing that and I'm doing it right now. So here's my lessons of 2024 as I just spent some time, didn't have a ton of time, but they're what came to the surface and probably the most powerful because they are top of mind. Number one is this concept that I have shared before on the show for sure, which is just win today. There's so many people, including myself, that struggle with anxiety from time to time. And anxiety comes from living in the present. You're focused on future. And of course, we have to be paving the road for the future and have a vision for our lives. Absolutely. However, we have to really settle into the moment now because that's all that we have. The present is all that we have. And when we focus every day just winning today, it's a calming practice. It's a grounding practice. And I do it and I've been living it out. My husband lives it out. I have a whole group of friends who just talked about it on a team meeting recently. And what does that look like? Intentionality. It looks like starting your day every day with the things ground you in order to win the day. So time in meditation and prayer, actually taking time in the morning, making sure you block time and you stick to it.
moving your body, getting the fuel in your body that you need, whether that is chugging water because hey, we all need hydrated, so just do with that one. We all need to prep our bodies for the day, prep our minds for the day, eat the things, take the vitamin supplements that we need, prep the day to be able to have the food, lay out our calendar, ship things. I often say every day is like playing chess. And sometimes things have to move. Just like I had this episode to record on here quite a few times. It had to move for certain reasons. And then there was also this balance of like, just get it done. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep moving. But sometimes, right? Like for me, I'm in a week of having my dad just had surgery. I am watching their dog. I am helping as best I can to be able to prep and be with them and make sure that my dad and my mom are, in a good place, but also being present when needed at the hospital, those kinds of things. And then things have to shift and change. I did know that was coming. And sometimes you have a unexpected team member that's sick. And so therefore today things are going to have to shift and it's okay. It's okay. It's just focused on staying present in today and focused on winning today. So much is how you start that day, how you lay out your day to make sure that the things are set or things are moved to support you best and not overcommitting your day. And a gratitude practice that just oozes throughout as many moments as you can, stopping to just say thank you for the breath that I have, the time, the space that I have, the office that I have, the flexibility that I have, whatever that is, staying grounded and focused in gratitude really helps with that calming effect and just staying present and winning today. And, I don't know if any of you, I forget what the book, Eat the Frog, but those core things that need to get done, prioritizing a few things to win the day, not a list that's 15 that overwhelms. You can have the list of 15, but it's knowing the priorities and saying, here are the frogs that I'm going to eat today and accomplishing those big things and letting the other things flow as they can come in. So my first lesson is just win today. And if you'd want to reach out, I'm constantly always working on this for myself. And it's really helped me. So I wanted to share that with you. My second lesson is around the reminder of the grandiosity of the universe and the smallness of us. So there's a documentary that I watched that right now I'm going to forget what that documentary is called, but it was about the size of the universe. And my jaw was dropped. My husband and I watched this and literally jaw dropping. I talked about it in almost every conversation that week and the following week. And in summary, here I'll share with you that I think it's the sun is like 100 times larger than the earth. And the earth there are stars in the galaxy bigger than the earth. What? Stars are bigger than it's crazy to think that. So the earth is the only place that we know that there's like human life from what I know. Maybe some other people know some other things that I don't know. Feel free to share them. But out of the grandiosity of the universe, the earth, which we think is really big, is really not that big. And we are teeny tiny on the earth. And this is not all about us and controlling. There's so much being orchestrated in the background in the trust and belief that there is God, Mother Earth, whatever it is that is your guiding star, knowing that there is bigness out there that is taking care of you, that all is well. I love Louise Hay. She's one of my favorite thought leader influencers. She has since passed, but such a wonderful contributor. Like if you're familiar with Wayne Dyer, he's like that to me too. I always remember when I get out of bed, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is Wayne Dyer, this gratitude practice that's so deep and so real. It's not a check the box thing. It's this living thing of like how much gratitude is oozing out of my life. And then there's Louise Hay that I hear in the back of my mind saying, all is well, all is well. And just knowing that we are doing our very best. We only know when we're doing our very best. And some days our very best is very little compared to another day. The point is that there is so much more out there. We aren't controlling every single step. There's so much out of our control, and focus on the things that you can control. I probably sound like something that you've heard a million times, but I think that the tip here is the grandiosity of the universe. Go into Chat GPT or any of your favorite AI and just ask it to tell you about the grandiosity of the universe and how little we are and just the bigness of all that's out there, and just let's surrender. That's the lesson. Number 3 is surround yourself with a winning team. For this podcast, we're talking to leaders all the time. And so we're many times talking about the workplace, and there's a lot more that comes beyond the workplace. But we are concentrated in that area or bucket of our life. And in this context, that team that you have that surrounds you, a winning team, is supportive, understanding, holds you accountable, pushes you, and looks for all those things from you too. We are here to help each other win. And the opposite of that, I've been there, and it is life sucking. On the other side of surrounding ourselves with great people, the life giving relationships of a winning team, but also the friendships that you have in your life. And it's not just surrounding ourselves with those amazing team members that I'm so grateful for, but also the effort that we bring to the table to be a winning team member ourselves to others and to be a life-giving friend to others is just really a powerful, intentional effort and has to be prioritized. So if that is putting time blocks on your calendar to be a better team member, be a better friend, expand your friendships, expand your teams and grow them, do it. Lesson number 4, protect your mind and your vibe. Our mental well-being and our outlook on life and the energy that we bring is exactly what we get back. So law of attraction, I think that's the core terminology I would use for this. It's so true. It's like what we put out into the world is what we get back. It's truly what is in our sphere right now is a direct reflection. It's a mirror of what we are putting out into the world. And it doesn't mean that every day because like we put out a good deposit, like we get all these good deposits every single second back. No, it is the trusting of we are here to do our best to make sure that our mind is right in that morning routine time that we take to win the day, right? That's a part of that in the goodness of the Louise Hay or the Wayne Dyer that we're pouring into our head versus maybe watching too much news or negative things that get in your way. It's so important to be proactive with protecting your mind, drawing boundaries. Sometimes relationships in our life need certain time boundaries, and that's okay. And then bringing that very best self to the table, your vibe. Dr. Rosie Ward, who's a podcaster on our network with her show, Show Up as a Leader, she talks about check-ins, and they do this above the line, below the line check-in. And how are you coming into this meeting? Another one is Renee Smith at A Human Workplace. They do this on their meetings too. Every meeting starts with, help me understand how you're coming into this meeting. And it gives some context for the vibe that you're bringing. And we don't want to be, toxic, positive, or inauthentic. We want to be authentic in how we show up. And our vibe is not always like this 10 level, however we define a 10. It is our best that we can bring, and just being cognizant and intentional about that, what we are bringing to the table. It is a daily effort in protecting your mind and what you allow into your mind, because what you're allowing in is directly what is going to come out, and the vibe that you feel and the vibe that you give out, and just being very mindful of that. It's so important. I'll catch myself sometimes. I'm like, I was just being really negative, like what was coming out of my mouth. I'm like, this is way beyond maybe a hurtful word to someone else. We would never want to intentionally do that, right? Like we don't want to be that. It's deeper. And what we are putting out is what is going to come our way energy wise. Life is energy. This microphone that I'm speaking into, this water cup that I am drinking out of, everything is made out of energy, and it is reflected to what we put out. So be cautious, be intentional. And number 6 is embrace the teachings, embrace the journey, and I feel like I'm being cliche. I don't want to be cliche. I'm being like, this is really my life lessons of embracing. Yeah, just embracing. Like earlier, I was talking about, this lack of control and everything and the grandiosity of the universe. And it's truly a lesson of surrender. This in number 6, this tip that I want to share is embracing the teachings And, there's tough teachings, like tough ways to learn them. And there is beautiful ways to learn teachings, like replicate what works. That would be a beautiful way of embracing a teaching. And it's so fun because it was like, oh, that worked. Let's do it again versus that sucked. Don't want that to happen again. But what are the teachings? What are yours? So I would encourage you to do this. Like spend some time. And I told you I had moved this multiple times, trying not to be perfect in whatever I wanted to put out. It's just me sharing, being myself and doing a reflection exercise. And no, I didn't have multiple hours to do it and didn't spend a ton of time prepping. Spent some time, and that's okay. You do you. And I encourage you as my, I guess, call to action is embrace your teachings of 2024 and take those into 2025. Share them with other people. Record a podcast episode. Reach out to us at People Forward Network if we can help you do that. And I thank you again for being on this journey. The show has really grown this year. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I want to say it's like 350%. We're a top 1.5% global podcast per listen notes, and so much more to learn. So many great conversations to come. And we just hope that you stick with us for the journey as much as you can. Have a wonderful Christmas holiday season. We'll see you when you come back from break. I hope you get a glimpse of boredom and awesome fun activities and a lot of rest and tons of time with life-giving relationships. And you go be one of those too.
We just left the world a little bit better. Now, go do something with it.